Chapter 8:24. When she saw that she had already achieved her purpose, Lady Richard quickly burst into tears as she hit her own legs and started wailing, "I have been so miserable in this life. My family is really so unfortunate to have this kind of vicious daughter-in-law. I am already about to die, but my daughter-in-law is still yelling at me and reprimanding me." Brabus could not tolerate it anymore when she saw the old lady crying. She suddenly recalled the tragic appearance of her mother, who had been sent to the hospital after drinking a whole bottle of pesticide. She did not die at that time, but the doctor had told her that her mother could no longer be saved because her lungs had already become irreversibly fibrotic after taking in such a large amount of pesticides. At that time, her mother had also been crying as miserably as this as she lay on the bed. Brabus could not help but shed some tears as she thought of that heartbreaking scene. Since Elaine had forced and pushed this old lady to a dead end, Brabus felt that Elaine was even more arrogant and despicable compared to her own scumbag sister-in-law. At this time, she could not hold back the anger she was feeling in her heart. She strode toward Elaine before she said coldly, "You scumbag. Didn't your parents teach you to honor and be respectful toward your in-laws before you got married?" Elaine did not realize that Brabus had approached her because she wanted to hit her. As soon as she heard Brabus asking her to honor her in-laws, Elaine laughed in contempt before she said, "Honor my in-laws? Are you kidding me? If you had this kind of mother-in-law, I am afraid that you would have already killed her a long time ago." Brabus did not know that Lady Richard was a very disgusting and despicable old lady. Therefore, she could not help getting very angry, and she hated Elaine to the core when she heard what the latter had just said. She could not wait to punch her to death. Brabus rushed forward and punched Elaine directly in her nose. Elaine yelled out in pain and fell to the ground as soon as she was punched. After that, the strong and thick Brabus sat directly on her stomach before she tore at her hair with one hand and slapped her with all of her strength with her other hand. As she was hitting her, Brabus cursed, "I will kill you today. You unfilial daughter-in-law. I will kill you." Elaine continued crying out loud as she was getting beaten up, and she asked, "Who are you? Why are you hitting me? How did I provoke you in any way?" Brabus continued slapping her as she cursed, "You are a shameless dog who abuses her own mother-in-law. I have to punish you and teach you a lesson today. I am doing everyone a huge favor." Lady Richard could not help but feel very excited when she saw Elaine getting beaten up. She blurted out, "Quick! Help me to walk over there." After she spoke, she trembled a little as she tried to stand up. At this time, Olivia and another woman hurriedly helped her up before they led her over to Elaine. Lady Richard was extremely excited and had a vicious expression on her face as she approached Elaine. After that, she cursed, "You scumbag! Unfilial child! I am going to kill you today." After she was done speaking, Lady Richard stretched out her hands to hit Elaine, and in the process, she left a few blood marks on her face. Elaine cried out in pain and continued screaming, "Help me! Help! Prison guard, please help me! They are trying to murder me." The prison guard had already walked out of the cells at this time. Brabus continued to grab and pull out Elaine's hair as she continued hitting Elaine. After that, she squeezed the latter's face hard as she sneered and said, "The prison guard has already finished patrolling this area. She will not be here for another hour at least. I am going to kill you today, you unfilial dog." Olivia had also been waiting for this opportunity to vent all of her anger and frustrations. Therefore, she lifted her foot and started kicking Elaine as she cursed, "Aren't you really great? Didn't you say that you are so awesome because you were living in the villa at Beacon Top? That was my former fiancé's villa. It's all because of you that I got left behind and ended up in this pathetic state. You are the reason why I have to live out on the streets. I am going to kick you to death." Elaine had been beaten up a few times before, but this was the first time that she had ever been beaten up so badly. This was because each of the three people had their own hatred and anger that had been pent up inside. Therefore, they did not hesitate to continue hitting and kicking her. A short while later, all of the other inmates also joined in the fun and started hitting Elaine as well. Elaine was beaten up so badly that there was not a single spot on her body that had been left untouched. At this point, she could only cry out in despair, "Please stop hitting me. I am going to die." Brabus gave her a tight slap across her face before she said, "It's okay. She can still talk, so that means she is not going to die yet. Continue beating her up."